Well, hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the Shooting Show, and yes, it is raining outside. It's been raining here all week, essentially. But you know, we hadn't gone back in time for a while, and we have some programs from over the years. We've only got 474 shows to choose from, you know, over these years. And friends, we are indeed so pleased and so proud to be here. We are Gun TV. Yes, the Shooting Show is the #1 gun television program in the world. And somehow we're here again this week. And you know, there are so many things. We're one of the only shows that wants to show a product like this gun, our original 460 here, and certainly this Smith & Wesson revolver. Yes, we know these guns are unloaded, of course. But you know, instead of trying to convince you what a big deal the gun is, we spend as much time educating people on what a big deal it's not. No magical powers in this. It's just a machine. It's just a powerful machine, yes. Nothing magical about it. No singing sword type thing like the cartoon. Who was it, sir? Whoever it was in the funny papers there. The singing sword, no Excalibur, no great mythical powers. No, it's just a machine that is entirely dependent upon the operator, on what it's used for. No, it's really not. Ms. Feinstein, if you're listening, and she's, some of the government people are, Ms. Feinstein's not, I'm sure. She didn't like guns, although she has a gun permit. Isn't that amazing how it's okay for her to have a gun, but the rest of us, she's not more concerned about us. But you know, they're always saying what evil instruments these are. They're just machines. It's not that big a deal. They're entirely dependent on who's operating the machinery, like anything else. Isn't that amazing? So we actually spend our time telling you folks, showing how they can be properly operated, showing how they can be properly manipulated, taken care of, and certainly deserving of respect as any power tool. But you know, they're really not. They're really not end-all, do-alls. They're not mythical. Gun has no brain at all, nothing at all. Has some built-in safeties. But you know, isn't that amazing how what we're trying to do is say, wait a minute, no, the gun itself is not that big a deal, it's just a machine. The big deal is us, the citizen, in possession of these guns. You know, friends, we have the enclave at the evil United Nations coming this summer. And the onslaught is on as never before in our history. In California now, there's new legislation pending where doctors will ask your children whether or not you have guns properly stored in your home. They're also going to ask your children whether or not you spank them. Ooh, because if you spank your children, they may be an officer at your door going to haul you away in handcuffs because you spanked your kids. Because the liberal socialists don't happen to believe in corporal punishment. Now, they believe in punishing us as subjects, sometimes citizens. But oh no, because the family must be broken down before they can have their chaos, so they can take over, before the people will beg for government intervention. Well, friends, I'll tell you, we have a great show for you. We're going to look back at some things from past years. And a number of people have called me and written. They say, you know, Johnny, you're doing a little something different. Well, for anyone who's interested, we have discovered a great new product, and I suppose we can offer it for sale. It's called GHR 15. Friends, if you'd like to improve your health. And certainly, I'd kind of let myself go last year, working all the time, a lot of pressure is just extra. And I discovered this, listened to some doctors talk about GHR 15. It's 15 amino acids that essentially trigger your own human growth hormone. Essentially, put very simply, take you back in time, or certainly reverse the aging process to some degree. And it's pretty amazing stuff. I have twice as much energy as I had last fall, and I've been using this for about 5 months now. This is my 5th month 4.5, 5 months, and it has made a dramatic difference, certainly in the way I feel. Plus, some of the folks that I talk to on a regular basis, we all went in and tried this stuff. And we've really had some good results. So we will, if you'd like to order some GHR 15 from the show, I suggest a minimum 2-month supply. It's $40 a bottle. That's a month's supply. Hey, it retails for $80 a bottle, okay? Friends, at $80 a bottle, it's cheap. It's cheap for what it does. We'll sell it for 40 bucks a bottle, and please include $3 or $4 for shipping. But I would suggest minimum 2 bottles, because it's not a medicine, it's a supplement. It takes a while for it to work. Helps you sleep better, helps your skin tone, helps your entire bodily system. And it's all natural ingredients. Uses your own human growth hormone on demand. So you can get it right here from the program, 40 bucks a bottle, and please include $3 or $4 for shipping. Also, our CDs as well, $12.95 either one, $22.95 for both of them. If you'd like to have our Citizens of the Earth CD, or certainly our new one, our Southern Dreams CD, and please continue those phone calls. We're starting to get results from radio stations around the country that's starting to play this song. The first song, You Make Me Dream, on the CD, if you don't mind. Well, let's get another shooting show underway. A lot of ground to cover today. We really appreciate you folks being here with us.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, this is the new Georgia Arms 20th anniversary catalog. Of course, has a memorial there to our good friend Jim Clark there on the cover. This is a terrific catalog from the finest ammunition maker in the United States. They have all kinds of great prices on all sorts of ammunition: 243 Winchester, 270s, 7.62 by 39 Russian, all kinds of great stuff. They've even got 308 tracers, 30-06 tracers, all kinds of neat stuff here in this great new Georgia Arms catalog. They have components if you want to load your own ammo, and look here, we've got the shooting show with our new 460 Rowland kit on sale as well. Georgia Arms has the best prices for custom grade ammunition that I'm aware of in the United States, and guess what else? They're helping to support our shooting show. Friends, give them a call today. Free phone call, free catalog. 1-800-624-6861, 1-800-624-6861, Georgia Arms, and please remember to tell them that you heard it and saw it here on our program.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the Springfield Armory building here in Springfield, Massachusetts, with a lovely lady named Joanne Ganji. Did I say that right?
You did.
Well, Joanne, just walking around, this is a place of tremendous historical significance. And plus, right now you have the Royal Armorers exhibit from,
That's right.
now where
London.
are they? From London. And we'll be showing some things later on, but how long is that going to be here in the...
We are trying to confirm that right now, but as best we know, it will be here through October.
So several months when we're doing this, yes.
That's right.
Well, tell me something, Joanne. Tell us what your museum here represents.
Okay, first off, it is a National Historic Site, part of the National Park Service, one of 368 sites across the United States. And as you say, the reason it's put aside is because of its historic significance to the nation, the development of the country. And its primary role, as you can figure out from walking around, was to manufacture
Military.
arms, shoulder arms, from 1794 to 1968.
Now, I see some national match, 1911, so
That's right.
also some handguns were built here.
And also to recognize that the Army was involved with the Olympics at the turn of the century. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No, I really didn't know
Yeah,
that. No.
and 1994 is our bicentennial year, and we will be having a bicentennial here on our site that we will have reenactments set up outside. There will not be any firing or shooting, but we will have tents set up, and we will have the periods represented showing the arms that were made here at Springfield Armory and their use through time,
Well, a
from the
question for
Revolution
you.
through the Persian Gulf. Yep.
Well, who set up Springfield Armory? Was there an arms factory here during our own Revolutionary War?
George Washington set up two national federal armories. One was here in Springfield in the north, and then we had one in Harpers Ferry, Virginia, which was destroyed in 1862 by Union troops during the Civil War, thus leaving us as the primary federal armory for the nation. And that happened because during the Revolutionary War, we had been very dependent on France and other countries for our arms. And so in 1793, President Washington made the decision that we should have a way of having our own arms made here in this country to safeguard our own
What all
and
was
make sure.
made here? Now, obviously,
The
you
very
made guns.
first one was
but then-
the smooth-bore flintlock, based on the Charleville model from France. And then the last being the M14 with the shoulder arms and the M60 machine gun. And there was an awful lot of research and development and other kinds of work going on here.
That was really a great trip back in 1993. I hope you enjoyed going back and taking a look at some of the things we saw at Springfield Armory in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
New York City has been doing its history homework. The city's finest have adopted an official policy that can only remind us of King George III, or Lenin and Hitler. The New York City Police Department has issued an official policy termed Operation Gun Stop. The idea is simple and disturbingly similar to the BATF campaign to dial an 800 number to report a gun. In New York City, citizens are invited to call the cops when they see an illegal gun. Of course, in New York City, most privately owned guns are illegal because the law and the police have made it so difficult to legally obtain a personal protection device. Here's the deal in the police memo's words. Under this program, private citizens will be able to anonymously provide this department with information regarding individuals or locations involved with illegal handguns. Individuals who provide information that leads to an arrest for such sale possession will be eligible for a cash reward of $500. That's the end of the quote. Now, based on an anonymous tip, without any substantiation whatsoever, a search warrant will be issued and a search of the accused's premises will be carried out. This is virtually the same as a general warrant. King George III used them, and the British still call them writs of assistance. These writs had a great deal to do with Americans taking up arms against British terrorism. The King's thugs, posing as soldiers, would enter the homes of Americans to search for contraband. A suspicion was all that was required because the writs of assistance were the same as a search anytime, anywhere authorization. 20th century terrorists such as Lenin and Hitler took the writs of assistance one step further. They developed a formal network of secret neighborhood spies who would anonymously tip off thugs hired by the regime who would act against any politically incorrect behavior that needed to be suppressed. Too bad that neither Lenin nor Hitler are around to issue a certificate of achievement to the New York City Police Department. Perhaps one might be issued by Fidel Castro, the terrorist who has oppressed Cuba for over 40 years. From Washington, this is Larry Pratt for Gun Owners of America.
For more information on Gun Owners of America or to join, you can call them at 888-886-GUNS, 888-886-4867, or you can find them on the internet at gunowners.org.
Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, and welcome to the Shootin' Show. Our program is devoted to showing the sporting and recreational uses of firearms. I think you're really going to enjoy our program today. We have a lot of very talented and entertaining guests who are going to appear on the show. We also have some country music that I think you're really going to enjoy. So, without further ado, let me put my goggles on here, safety glasses, let the Shootin' Show begin. Wasn't that fun? Friends, we want to talk about a lot of different types of guns today. The revolver I have in my hand is a Smith & Wesson model 625 in .45 ACP caliber. So this shoots the same cartridge as the government model semi-automatic pistol that the military has used for so long. But I happen to like revolvers a lot. For one, it doesn't throw your empty brass all around the field. But this is a very fine and accurate revolver. It's good for to be used by detectives such as myself or for the homeowner. It loads in half or full moon clips, and they all load at one time, and they eject at the same time. Later on in the show, Jerry Michulik is going to be shooting one of these, and he can really show what can be done. But let's see the gun in action. I rather like that myself. Now, one thing that I want to stress, whenever we're shooting, we always use safety glasses, impact-resistant glasses, because your eyesight is very, very difficult to repair if it gets damaged. In a lot of cases, you can't repair it. Another thing, I have earplugs in made of a soft gel. They're very effective, and you want to conserve your hearing because your hearing is kind of like your sight. If you lose it, it's very, very difficult, if possible at all, to get back. The next gun we're going to demonstrate, this is a new Smith & Wesson Model 610 revolver. Now it shoots another semi-automatic pistol cartridge, the 10 millimeter. It will also shoot the 40 Smith & Wesson because, which is a shorter version of the 10, essentially, because it headspaces or uses full moon or half moon clips, just like the 45 ACP revolver that we shot in another segment. So this is one of my very favorite handguns to use, and it's extremely accurate. So let's shoot it one time, see what it looks like.
And now, friends, we're going to have the pleasure of watching one of the great shooters of all time, Rob Latham, courtesy of Dillon Precision. This is part of the Shooter Ready tape, and let's watch Rob for a moment.
I'm going to share with you some techniques that have helped me over the years. Some may work, some may not, but they should make you a better and safer shooter.
The action shooting sport has grown rapidly over the past 10 or 12 years. This growth was led by California and Arizona, where men like Jeff Cooper, Jack Weaver, Ray Chapman, Thel Reed Jr., Eldon Carl, and Terry Allison envisioned pistol competition that featured action scenarios. Targets instead of round bullseyes would be armed adversaries, often more than one. Time required to hit the target was as important as accuracy. They called this new type of competition practical or combat pistol shooting. The term combat has since been dropped for the more innocuous titles of action or IPSC shooting. IPSC stands for International Practical Shooting Confederation. Today, IPSC matches are held all over the world. involving shooters who believe in the sport and the safety and professionalism surrounding it.
That was an El Presidente. 12 shots on 3 targets with the draw and a reload under 5 seconds.
Well, here we are this afternoon with my good friend Mr. Tom Cunningham from over in Dallas, Texas. And Tom and I are going to be talking about safety, because this is one of the most important things that people really should worry about. A lot of people now are buying handguns and long guns, for that matter, because they're concerned about the safety of themselves and their family. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to be safe with firearms. Now, this is a .357 Magnum revolver, and you'll notice the cylinder is out and empty. Now, if someone wants to store a gun like this in their home, all they have to do, and if they're concerned about a child getting hold of it and possibly playing with it, one method of safeguarding this gun is to take a regular padlock here, putting it through the top strap of the gun, and you'll notice the cylinder cannot close. And to ready the gun for firing, all you have to do is unlock the padlock and take it off, and then the gun can be used normally. You can keep your ammunition ready to load your gun into your revolver in a speed loader, so all you have to do when you want to use the revolver or load it is insert the bullets into the cylinder and push, and the gun's loaded and ready for use.
Johnny, let me ask you a question, since this is a new device to me. And you were mentioning a minute ago about safety, and especially children, where children are involved, and I can easily see that padlock is just foolproof, unless a child could somehow get it open, and that's highly unlikely. But as far as keeping your bullets away from a child, is this as safe as anything? Or
well, what you need to do is keep your ammunition. You can store it separately from the firearm itself, and preferably in a locked case or somewhere where a child is not likely, or the child can't get to it. This is an HKS speed loader, and of course this is a Safariland we featured a moment ago. They operate differently, but one is just as good as the other. It just depends on which one you like or what you get used to.
So they're really not safety devices, they're convenient devices?
No, these are convenience devices for instant loading, similar to a magazine in an auto-loading handgun. Now, one other place we can put the lock, of course, and we always check to see, be sure it's unloaded, we could put the lock in behind the trigger. And you'll notice what happens here. It can't be pulled far enough to cycle. The gun cannot possibly function. So that's another way. And of course there are several companies that make specific trigger locks that work with keys or with finger pressure. But if you don't have one available to you, a simple padlock will work awfully well. Now, another type of handgun we have here is a semi-automatic handgun, and we're going to discuss the lock situation on it in just a moment. The one advantage you have to a semi-automatic handgun, which may or may not be an advantage, is you can store the magazine loaded but separate away from the handgun. And of course we're going to check and be sure it's empty, which it is. And when you need to use the gun or make it ready to fire, all you have to do is insert the magazine into the base of the frame. And certainly you can store it safely by keeping the magazine in a separate location away from the handgun. But the same principle applies to this. Is a double action semi-automatic handgun. You can put the lock on the revolver behind the trigger, or you can run, for instance,
or run the cable through either one.
Right. You can run the cable
out of working order.
Absolutely. You can run the cable up through the grip frame and out through the open ejection port. In fact, you can even close it on that, and of course lock the cable lock, and the gun is absolutely safe. It cannot be fired. Now, Tom, while we're talking about safety, I think it's very important to give the folks who are watching the most important rule that I know of about gun handling, and that is we never, ever point a loaded or unloaded gun at anything or anyone, nothing that cannot, that we can't do without. Never point a gun at anything which cannot be destroyed.
And that means not only human beings, but pets.
That's right. That's
or
right.
Valuable vases or anything
at all
that you
cannot afford to lose, because accidental discharges do happen. Accidents do happen.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
For folding stocks, for pistol grips, for regular stocks, for replacement stocks, for magazine extension tubes for your shotgun, for magazine replacement springs for your shotgun. How about the executive eye scraper, the executive letter opener, all from Choate Machine and Tool when you call for a free catalog. You can get the executive letter opener, a multi-purpose tool, or the executive eye scraper, a multi-purpose tool, for only your choice, only $2 when you call for a free Choate catalog. You can get both of them for $4, a $10 value. Friends, if you're a shooter or a gun owner, you need one of the Choate Machine and Tool Company catalogs. Call them today, 1-800-972-6390. In Ball Knot, Arkansas, they're helping to support our project. You need one of their catalogs. Again, 1-800-972-6390. And please remember to tell them that you saw it here on our show.
And now for our support group, we have Custom Leatherwork and Saddlery in Denham Springs, Louisiana. We have Brooks Communication in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We have Dennis Crocker Firearms Training for League of the South info and grass shooting info there in South Carolina. Also, we have Gearlings Equipment Rentals in Southern California. And we have Mike and Sherry Harris Pilot Services and Consulting there in South Carolina.